With Deborah Norville.
Hello and thanks for joining us. I'm Mary Calvi in today for Deborah. It's not the news you want to hear during this busy holiday travel season. A terrifying plane crash overseas was initially blamed on a bird strike, but it's looking more like it was accidentally shot down. Incredibly, 29 passengers survived. So is there anything you can do to boost your chances of making it out alive during a plane disaster? Jim Murray reports, and we warn you the video is intense.
Just imagine the terror on board this stricken plane. The pilot is fighting to keep control. After it nosedives, the pilot levels the plane off. On board, a brave flight attendant is fighting to keep the 69 passengers calm. The oxygen masks have been deployed. Life vests can be seen on seats. This man is praying. But the worst fears are realized. The plane crashes to the ground in a fireball. 29 people, including 2 children, survived. Many were able to walk away with only minor injuries. The plane was headed to Russia but had been diverted to Kazakhstan where it crashed. Initial reports said the plane was struck by birds, but video of the wreckage appears to show it may have been shot down. You can see what looks like bullet holes in the fuselage.
It's not a first time for Russia to shoot down an airplane, if that is indeed what happened.
So could you survive such a calamity? In the Christmas Day crash, the people who lived were seated in the back of the plane, the part that stayed intact.
Investigators will also find survivability patterns after an accident, and they do analyze them and say, why did people here suffer less burns, or why did people here tend to die when people here did not?
Some experts say the seats in the back of the plane are generally safer than the ones in the front. This spectacular experiment conducted by the Discovery Channel bears that out. Investigators intentionally crashed a plane in the California desert. They found passengers in the back would have walked away with minor injuries, while those in the front of the plane would have perished. And remember the man seen praying in this latest disaster? He was among the survivors. That's him looking banged up, walking away from the wreckage.
When asked if the plane was shot down, a spokesperson for the Kremlin refused to comment pending the investigation. After 4 University of Idaho students were slain, suspect Bryan Kohberger is still awaiting trial, and now comes a twist. Did he do a test run a year earlier? Just miles away, a woman called cops saying she was the victim of a masked intruder with a knife, and now the body cam has been released.
Did the University of Idaho murder suspect stage a test run for the massacre he's accused of? That's one question swirling today after a new twist in the Bryan Kohberger case.
Bryan Kohberger was named a person of interest in an eerily similar home invasion.
It all centers on a home invasion that was reported to cops in Pullman, Washington in 2021. A year before the notorious University of Idaho slayings. In just released body cam from that earlier case, you can hear the victim telling a cop what happened.
I was asleep, and then I woke up. I heard my door open, and I looked over, and someone was wearing a ski mask and had a knife. I, kicked the out of their stomach and screamed super loud, and they, flew back into my closet and then ran out my door.
13 months later, less than 10 miles away, 4 University of Idaho students were found slain in their off-campus house. It's now being revealed that shortly after Kohberger's arrest for quadruple murder, he was named a person of interest in the home invasion. The similarities? In each case, the intruder had a knife, wore a mask, and stayed silent. But there are also differences. Kohberger is 6 foot tall. The home invasion victim told officers the intruder was between 5'3" and 5'5". Police say Kohberger is no longer a person of interest in the earlier break-in. That case has been closed and remains unsolved. So could this affect Kohberger's upcoming trial?
I think the biggest effect this has on the case is everybody who's listening right now, because someone who's watching could be a juror selected in Bryan Kohberger's case, and you can't unhear this.
Kohberger, whose trial begins next August, has pleaded not guilty.